Hey, as it usually happens, Steve Donahue came out with a interesting video. Actually, he's done a couple of videos like this in the past of videos that are like encouragements to try your hand at a booktube channel. And this was sort of a further refinement of that, the Bktb Starter Kit. And yeah, it was a good video. He gave lots of good practical advice. Things that, like, I think are kind of valid things to kind of go through and just say, how am I on that scale? Because he's got that rather methodical sense, as he says in the video. It's like, it's good to make lists because the human mind probably works well as a kind of a focusing thing of lists. And in his video, it was like, number one is like, well, why do you want to start a booktube channel? Like, what is it? Are you doing it because you want to be kind of a influencer? You want money? You want fame? Because if you do, well, booktube is not the spot for that. We are a tiny bump on a tiny bump. You should get into Bitcoin or beauty channel. There's very, very little money on booktube. There is maybe a literal handful of people, that you could probably count on your hand who are actually making, above a minimum wage living at being a full-time booktuber, and that's with humongous numbers, and they're exploiting all the merch, they're putting all the AdSense up, they've got, they're doing, all the tie-in promotional things. This is a business, and they're grinding hard. And if you think those people are enjoying themselves, probably not. Probably not. This is a grind, and this is where you get the big booktuber burnout and stuff like that. It's a hard way to make a living, and probably one that's not particularly great for the soul. So yeah, it's like, and and he goes on to things that are very the practical things of, like, do an inventory of, like, what are the demands on your life. Doing an even really lo-fi kind of version of booktube, like a lot of people in his and my orbit, and people, even that takes a good hunk of time every week. If you're doing, if you're doing weekly videos, if you're doing like one video a week, or a couple of videos a week, that's gonna take a good hunk of time. For every video, there's got to be, there's reading books, ostensibly reason, though you can get away without doing that. But even on a video, like a tag video, you're probably taking a good couple of hours at the very least to figure things out, to get everything together, to think about it, all that, even if you are super natural at it, like someone like Steve Donahue is, who has a whole vast wealth of knowledge that seems to be fairly at his fingertips. But, so there's that. There's, there's like getting the basic minimum of lighting and sound. There's finding a spot that's just sort of ease of setup in that realm of, like, if you have to kind of do a whole bunch of stuff and you're really awkward and it's all like that, it's going to be that less likely that you're going to do this on a regular weekly or whatever thing. It's like you need to have some place to just sort of plop yourself down. Yeah. So there's there's all that sort of stuff. There's, I think it's, it does come down to the big stuff of be yourself. It's exhausting and also really off-putting to put on a persona and to do that in the long haul, because this is a long haul thing, and there is to a degree that it's only being yourself that you're A, going to make connections, and B, that you're going to be able to do this in the long term. I've been doing this for a couple of years now. And even with just sort of genuinely being myself, there's the grind and a lot of other stuff. I can't imagine having an extra layer of trying to be someone I wasn't in the middle of this. For good or ill, this is who I am, with my lack of lighting and everything else. He also talked about, pick a channel name, try and think of it in the long term. A cute pun might be cute for a couple of months, but it'll probably wear on you after a while. If you pick a very specific name, like your Ted's Gothic horror novels written only in the 1990s, that's pretty particular, and you might exhaust that subject, and then what are you going to do when you still have that channel name? And then I think finally the big one, it's the truism is community. That this, a lot of other booktube, a lot of other YouTube, it's a very cutthroat, competitive thing where you're trying to put the knife in on your competitors. You're all scrambling for a very finite amount of revenue and advertisers and promotions and all that sort of stuff. But this is sort of the hobby booktube, hobby side of things, where it's much more about just hanging out with people and making connections and relationships and getting to know people and getting to chat with them, which I find that is a part of it. Indeed isn't a part of it. I do know that I am rather odd in how I use this channel, specifically to basically use it as a kind of a journal, a diary to myself. But strangely enough, I'm having, it seems at the moment, a little bit of a breakthrough of just chatting with people and having a little bit more connections with people lately, of being able to leave more comments on people's videos, and perhaps finally with myself leave behind a bit of that self-consciousness that made it so hard for me to make and answer comments. It's like, it's a little bit more of like, this isn't about myself, this is about encouraging and being warm with other people in the text in the comment sections, and that's something I've maybe intellectually known, but maybe I'm getting a little bit more practice at just sort of doing that in kind of a general fashion, which is really nice. And I'm it's one of these things in a starter kit is kind of valuable to go reviewing Steve's booktube starter kit. It's to think like, hey, maybe I'm learning, I'm slowly learning lessons, slowly incorporating things in, or maybe I'm just in a better place at the moment, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. So I think, yeah, I just, and sometimes I just find that I need a space like this to be on my own, to be able to kind of regurgitate back everything that Steve just told me, and then to reflect on that, to see glimmers of my own movement, and to pick apart my own thoughts on the matter. which is valuable to me. Even though this is probably just valuable to me more than it's valuable to anyone else. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, but it's good talking with myself. More videos later.